Good morning, everyone. If you are watching this video, you are tuned into Spiritual Awakening. We are using the Word of God to wake up and strengthen our spirit man. And it's so important because if the flesh is stronger, the flesh dominates. If the spirit is stronger, the spirit dominates. And God is spirit. So we want our spirit man to be strong so we can commune with God and hear God and follow God. We don't want our flesh to be strong. Ain't nothing good in the flesh. And the flesh follows the works and the voice of Satan. We don't want to do what we want to do, okay? We're chosen vessels. This reminds me of a meme that I love about a father and son. And the son goes to the father and said, he said, no, the father is talking to the son. And the father says, there are two wolves that are fighting. One is good and one is evil. And they're on the inside and they're fighting. And the son asks an important question. On the meme, the son says, well, father, which one wins? And he say, the one that you feed the most. My favorite meme. I love the one we feed the most. So like I said, we feed our spirit man, we're going to be victorious in everything. We feed this flesh, we don't get enough word, honey. Sometimes we end up in bad places. So honor your mother and father, for your days may be long. That is Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your mother and father, for your days may be long. I love this because it gives me a deeper understanding of what the Old Testament was saying. If you go back to the book of Exodus and you realize what God was doing in the generations, you'll see why he had to speak to Israel and tell them this commandment. You know, number one, the children of Israel, the first generation that he freed, they were the mothers and fathers. This is the generation that bore children. Now, we've learned that the first generation, their forefathers, they didn't get to enter into the promised land. Why? Why did they not get to enter? Because, you know, murmuring, complaining, and no matter what God was doing. Now, these are the parents. Let's talk about these complaining parents, okay? Murmuring and complaining and never satisfied. God kept showing them ways that he provided and loved and cared, but at the same time, you know, they were just never satisfied. So like Moses, they didn't get to go into the promised land, but the children, these next generations, is the ones that got to go into the promised land with Joshua. And this is so important to know, because why did the parents not get to go, but the children got to go? And why is God putting the commandment first? Why am I honoring no good, complaining, just always gotta find a problem with something? I mean, come on, we know a few that's like that. We know a few parents. We were raised with a few of them. Always got to find something to argue about. Always got to find something to complain about. But why was God putting this commandment in the generation with the complaining parents, the complaining fathers and mothers? Why was this put first rather than later? And I'll tell you why. The children needed to understand that we don't choose our vessels. We don't choose the vessels that we come through. Okay? God creates us, number one. Okay? God creates us. We are in heaven and God is doing his craftsmanship. He's creating. He's everything. Things we like, things we don't like. God created us. But he had to choose, okay? We didn't choose. Like we say all the time, we didn't choose to be here, okay? You had me, okay? We did not choose our parents. God did. He chose broken, happy, never satisfied, sometimes sad. He chose a father, which is the seed, and he chose the mother, which is the vessel, to push us out. It reminds me of Joyce Myers, and her testimony is so powerful. Stay with me because I'm going somewhere, okay? She tells the testimony of how her father molested her from a young age, going all the way up. He molested her, and her mother knew. But this is the household that she grew up in. Years later, she's preaching and she's traveling and doing all this and that. And now she has to take care of the same parents. Whoo, she has to take care of the same father who molested her and the mother who knew. And not only is she taking care of them, she honors them. How in the world can I honor parents who've hurt me, who've abused me, who left me, who wasn't there, who was in the streets, who wasn't in the streets, who controlled my mind? God, number one, we have to understand something, okay, about parents, okay? And I'll get to why we honor them. God tells us in the Bible when he talks about going down to the potter's house, and that's one of my favorite messages to preach. He says that when you go down to the potter house, he was talking to the prophet, when you go down to the potter house, I need you to watch what the potter's doing, okay? And as the potter puts the clay in his hands, he's shaping and forming and making, and the clay is marred. That means it's messed up. But as he does it over again, and we have to understand that we have been raised and pushed through vessels that have been marred, okay? We have been raised and pushed through vessels, some of us, that during the process it was complicated, okay? Many of us have grown up with parents that we don't even understand what our parents went through. They have raised us the best they can, and I'm not saying that a lot of what children have gone through is right. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is God chose vessels to push us through. Why would God choose to push me through a vessel that was drunk? Why would God choose to push me through a vessel that treated me wrong, that left me on the wayside? Some of us have been pushed through vessels that did not even acknowledge us until we were older. Some of us have been pushed through vessels that did things to us that we will never forget. God, how are you asking me to honor that? Number one, if you go back to the book of Exodus, yeah, these children were pushed through these vessels, these murmuring, complaining vessels. I was about to say vegetable, but God allowed this new generation that came forth to enter into the promised land. Baby, let me tell you something. You don't even know who you are and what you have and what you possess. It's not about the vessel you came through. It's not about the father and the mother. It has nothing to do with that. Lord, honey, I'm on it. It has nothing to do with that. God is saying, I push you through. I push you through some of the worst circumstances, some of the worst situations. Some of us have been pushed through some good situations and we made some bad decisions. But God say, I push you through because you don't even know who you are. You don't even know what you possess. When I created you in heaven, I gave you gifts. When I created you in heaven, I gave you a voice. Just like with Mary, Joseph and Mary, Jesus had to come through. And God is saying, you had to come through. Maybe the vessel was not what you thought it should be, but you were shaped and formed and fashioned by the hands of God, and just push through. Like my daddy always say, baby, you're just passing through a vessel. And if it had, see, parents and God have a relationship. May not be the right relationship. Now, I ain't talking about the relationship that we have with God now. That I ain't talking about the spiritual relationship, but God can't push mankind through until they come through a vessel, okay? God needs the vessel. He needs the vessel. I don't care how marred it is. I don't care how messed up it is now. He needs the vessel. So there's relationship happening. God and parents. All he needs you to do is come through. Come through. That's why he's saying honor. It's going to be this one is going to be tough. Honor. I honor. I saw my husband yesterday. He went to his mother's grave. Oh, swept it off, cleaned it, just sat there and just communed with his mother. Even in death, honor. He say, honor the vessel. That vessel wasn't perfect. Vessel wasn't right, may not have been right, may not have did everything you wanted to, but that vessel brought you through. Children of Egypt, that vessel brought you through so that you can be greater, so that you can do better, so that you can have a voice, so that your gift can be used. God didn't give us this opportunity on this earth to just sit back and do nothing. He created you and pushed you through to do more than you have ever thought that you could do. And that's why he's saying honor. And he just don't go with honor, okay? He say that so that your days may be long. So that your days, I see children right now who didn't even grow up with their fathers. Fathers come back later on in life when they're like 20, 30 years old. And they still honor their father so that your days may be long. It's not about the vessel. It's about you honoring what God has done. God just used that to create you, to push you through so that you could do greater works than your father did. So that you can do greater works than your forefathers did. God just used the vessel. He said, honor the vessel. Honor the vessel. That's hard for some people. So many families now are just scattered. They don't talk to mother. And the Bible tells us, honey, in the last days, honey, oh, it's going to be that. Oh, it's going to be that. But at the same time, God is saying, and those are signs. Those are just signs, okay? About the mother against the daughter against the mother and the son against the father. Those are signs. But just because those are signs don't mean that we don't have an opportunity to still honor who pushed us through. Yeah, you hurt me. yeah, you wasn't there. Yeah, I could really sit on that for a while. Do you hear me? I could sit on how you hurt me, how you manipulated me, how you control me. I can sit on that, but I'm not going to sit on that. Thank God that you didn't abort me. Thank God you pushed me out so that I could raise children to love God, so that I could raise children to know God, so that I could raise children to go out and operate in their gift. Thank God. He say honor so that your days may be longer. So that your days may be longer. Reverence, respect. That's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. But like I say with my husband, I love that even in death, he still honors his mother. And that's what God is saying. It's not easy. Thank you, Lord. It's not easy. For some people, it's not easy. Thank God for relationships where it is easy. But there are some parents that are sitting and people don't even go and see their parents. Don't even call. Just check. Hey, how you doing? Just want to let you know I appreciate you. Yeah, you didn't dot every I and cross every T. But I appreciate you because I'm here. I'm here. God chose you. He chose you. And you may not have had all the answers. You may have been messed up in the head. Things may have been done to you as my parents. And I never understood, but thank God. Thank God you had me. Thank God I'm able to do the things that I can do today. And I won't tear you down anymore. I won't bring that stuff up. I won't rehash that. I don't want to live in that. I'm going into my promised land because of you. I've gotten things, deeper understanding, revelations because of you. All of that hurt and all that pain and all the things I saw growing up, it made me better because of you. Whew. Honor your mother and father so that your days may be longer.